realize that you could qualify for disability benefits. The program is designed for anyone who is unable to work because of a medical condition, and it comes with serious benefits, free health care, and a regular monthly check, usually for the rest of your life. Unfortunately, it's hard to get disability benefits.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying.
The thesis. It is thick darkness and sudden death. This is also the number of Om, which is Amun, and the root sound of Omne, or in Greek, Pan, and it is a number of the sun. Yet it is the Atu of Thoth that correspondeth thereunto, marked with 0, and its name is Mat, whereof I have spoken formerly, and its image is the fool. O my son, gather thou all these limbs together into one body, and breath upon it with thy spirit, that it may live. Then do thou embrace it with lust of thy manhood, and go in unto it, and know it, so shall ye be one flesh. Now at last, in the reinforcement and ecstasy of this consummation, thou shalt wit by what inspiration thou didst choose thy name in the gnosis. I mean, Parsifal, the rain fall, the true knight that won kingship in Monsalvat, and made whole the wound of Amphitas, and ordered country to right service, and regained the lance, and revived the miracle of the Sangreal, yea, also upon himself did he accomplish his work in the end. Hoxton Elis Wunder, Erlösung dem Erlöser. This is the last word of the song that thine uncle Richard Wagner made for worship of this mystery. Understand thou this, O my son, as I take leave of thee in this epistle, that the summit of wisdom is the opening of the way that leadeth unto the crown and essence of all, to the soul of the child Horus and the Lord of the Aeon. This way is the path of the pure fool. Okay, this is called De Oraculo Sumo. This is the last page. This is 208 on the final oral. And who is this pure fool? Lo, in the sagas of old time, legend of scroll, of bard, of druid, cometh he not in green like spring? O thou great fool, thou water that art air, in whom all complex is resolved. Yea, thou in ragged raiment with the staff of Priapus and the wineskin, thou standest up on the crocodile like Horbacrat, and the great cat leapeth upon thee. Yea, and more also I have known thee, who thou art Bacchus, Diphus, none and two in thy name, meow. Now at the end of all do I come to the being of thee beyond by coming, and I cry aloud my word, as it was given unto man by thine uncle Asophribas Nazier, the oracle of the bottle of Backbook, and this word is drink, but in the antient right spelling this is Trino, whereof the number is the number of the name of me thy father, to wit, 636. Love is the law, love under will, 666 and 14. Jupiter in the ram and the sun in the ram, I believe, or Aries. Okay, that's on the final oracle. And then you have the index. So that was a complete reading, start to finish. Libra Aleph L, CX1, the Book of Wisdom of Folly. Alistair Crowley, we did it. It took us about a week. 200 plus pages. It's been a fun journey. After which do I limp painfully afar off upon the poor crutch of mine understanding of its word. Yea, I am well sure that in that book are writ all things soever, we being mostly without wit, and not able to distinguish them, for the stature of Iwas is beyond our measure, seeing that he was able to comprehend the whole mystery of knew it and of had it, and yet to declare the message in the language of men. Okay, this is called How I Wrote This Letter. Did I just read that? Yeah, language. Okay, this is called Wisdom and Folly. There's two left. This is the second to last one. It's called On Wisdom and Folly, De Sapiente et Studitia. O my son, in this the colophon of mine epistle, where I recall the title and superscription thereof, that is the Book of Wisdom of Folly, I proclaiming blessing and worship unto Nuit, our Lady and her Lord had it, by the miracle of the anatomy of the child Rahor Kuit, as it is showed in the design Minutum Mundum, the tree of life. For though wisdom be the second emanation of his essence, there is a path to separate and to join them, the reference thereof being Aleph, that is one indeed, but also 111 in his full orthography, to signify the most holy Trinity, and by metathesis, it is thick darkness and sudden death. This is also the number of Om, which is Amun, and the root sound of Omne, or in Greek Pan, and it is a number of the sun, yet it is the Atu of Thoth that correspondeth thereunto marked with 0, and its name is Mat, whereof I have spoken formerly, and its image is the fool. O my son, gather thou all these limbs together into one body, and breath upon it with thy spirit, that it may live. Then do thou embrace it with lust of thy manhood, and go in unto it, and know it, so shall ye be one flesh. Now at last, in the reinforcement and ecstasy of this consummation, thou shalt wit by what inspiration thou didst choose thy name in the gnosis. I mean Parsifal, the reign Thor, the true knight that won kingship in Man Salvat, and made whole the wound of Amphitas, and ordered country to right service, and regained the lance, and revived the miracle of the Sangreal, yea, also upon himself till he accomplish his work in the end. Hoxton elis wunder, erlossung dem Erlöser. This is the last word of the song that thine uncle Richard Wagner made for worship of this mystery. Understand thou this, O my son, as I take leave of thee in this epistle, that the summit of wisdom is the opening of the way that leadeth unto the crown and essence of all, to the soul of the child Horus and the Lord of the Aeon. This way is the path of the pure fool. Of that voyage, so now do I commit thee wholly unto thyself, for I exist not in thine universe save in my relation with thee. Wherefore that part of me in truth thou rather than I. Yet do thou treasure this letter, for it is mine especial gift, and hath radiance of the light of my wisdom, inflamed being the blood of my love of thee and of mankind. Also it is as the pulse of my life, beating with the nature thereof, and it is the word of my will, the charter of the liberty of my soul, and thine, and that every man and every woman, for we are stars. O my son, for many days was I silent until thou wast fearful lest thou hadst, in ignorance or by inadvertence, kindled the fire of my wrath. But I spake not because I knew in my wisdom that thou must pass a certain ordeal of thine initiation by thine own virtue. For this cause I held aloof, but in my love I made a beginning of this letter. Beholding thy triumph, half a hand and with prescience, divining thy next deed, that is to say, this book of the words of my wisdom. That's called On the Reason for Writing This Letter. Okay, this is called On the Nature of This Letter. Princess here, you're one sick puppy dog. You're hilarious though. I mean, really pushing the limits of Clubhouse. I love it. Intense. I honestly don't know how your account is gonna get canceled, dude. You must want to get kicked. I've been there. I've done that. It's been fun. Take it to the limits. You're doing it, bro. I salute you. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but you're probably a man. There's no way a woman would waste her time doing this. It's gotta be a dude. I don't believe that. Princessia, why don't you come up here and say something? Like, it would be interesting if you came up here and actually spoke, and we were to do, like, you know, an unveiling. It would be interesting if you said something. I would enjoy it. Okay. This is called On the Nature of This Letter. De natura hui epistole. O my son, in this letter have I written the name of my own nature, its law, its quality, its will, and its appurtenance or ornament. For it is the child of my love toward thee, the expression, through mine art of my will, so far as it regardeth thee. For every child is made of the essence of his father, so that every creation is a likeness or image of the Creator, but modified by the mother. That is to say, the material whereon he begetteth it. So then this letter is a projection of mine own star in a mirror, to wit mine idea in thy regard, and it shall be unto thee as a clear vision of thy Father, and of the word of the aeon that he hath uttered unto man. But also because this word is the formula of the aeon, that is to say, the law of its changes or phenomena, the equation that expresseth its energy and its motion, it shall serve every man in his measure as a textbook, comment upon the theoric and praxis of magic. By it may he discover his own nature and its will, and apply his force and his intelligence to the right fulfillment thereof. It shall be a beacon to enlighten him, to comfort him, to direct him, and it shall be a witness and memorial of my word and of my work, as of mine attainment unto wisdom. That's again called On the Nature of This Letter, De Natura Hui Epistolae. Perception of any human sense, but yet most real to our lungs, diluting the oxygen, by whose love we were else violently combust. This is the measure of reality. This is called On the Aphorism What I Say, All Things Exist. De aphorismo ube dico omnia sunt. My son, long did I await thee, yearning, and with pride and great gladness did I bid thee welcome to my city of the pyramids, under the night of Pan. Now then, in my dear love of thee, will I reveal this secret of wisdom which I wrote occultly. In my last chapter, in these words all things exist, considered by right understanding. This is to deny that there is anything imaginable or unimaginable which doth not exist. That is the body of Our Lady, knew it hath no limit, and there is no void that she filleth not with the variety and beauty of her stars and her space. Nor is there any one law of her nature, but in her are all laws, so that each thing or each truth that thou perceiveth is as it were one gesture of her dance. Shut up the book of thy questions, O my son, concerning nature, her way, her origin, her purpose, except in those matters which concern thee and thine own orbit. O thou star begotten of my loins and my lust of Hilarion, the golden rose, mystic and joy, is the lily of 1,000 petals and one petal, subtle and perverse, that thou mightest fulfill this work of Alagas, which I came to accomplish, robing myself in flesh of man, as was my nature and the will of my nature. The name of my star that flameth in the body of Nuit, Our Lady. On the reason for writing this letter, de ratione fui epistole scribendi. Behold, I draw unto the end of this discourse of wisdom, is a ship that hath adventured upon ocean, from whose mast the watcher espieth in the dimness of the horizon a point of snow, being the peak of a great mountain that is guardian of the harbour, term of that voyage. So now do I commit thee wholly unto thyself, for I exist not in thine universe save in my relation with thee. Wherefore that part of me in truth thou rather than I. Yet do thou treasure this letter, for it is mine especial gift. It hath radiance of the light of my wisdom, inflamed with being the blood of my love of thee and of mankind. Also it is as the pulse of my life, beating with the nature thereof, and it is the word of my will, charter of the liberty of my soul, and thine, and that every man and every woman, for we are stars. O my son, for many days was I silent until thou wast fearful lest thou hadst, in ignorance or by inadvertence, kindled the fire of my wrath. But I spake not, because I knew in my wisdom that thou must pass a certain ordeal of thine initiation by thine own virtue. For this cause I held aloof, but in my love I made a beginning of this letter, beholding thy triumph, half a hand and with prescience, divining thy next deed, that is to say, this book of the words of my wisdom. That's called On the Reason for Writing This Letter. Okay, this is called On the Nature of This Letter. Even when they sum these opposites as illusion, since illusion is the denial of his truth, since illusion is the denial of his truth. But the Indians, seeing this, seek escape by denying all qualities soever to their God, or true state. I speak of Parabrahman and of Nibbana, thus in any reality of thought rather than denying him, or it then destroying illusion. But in our light we have no need of any denial. And except all illusion itself, discriminating only in our minds between phenomena, by comparison with some convenient standard for the purpose of maintaining the order of our conceptions, in respect of the relation of any being with its environment. That's called under Manichaean heresy, de heresia Manichaea.
Crypto wasn't for him. He stayed clear of the drywall screws, when what you really needed were concrete anchors.
That one. The small one, yeah, that one.
When it came time to settle up,
I don't have any cash.
the register signs didn't register. How could those swipes be worth 3% of his profit?
Ever closer to the end. Continue! De veritate rerum mensuranda, on the measure of reality. So do thou apprehend this wisdom, O my son, laying it to thine heart as a mistress and hiding it in the treasury of thy mind as a jewel of enlightenment. Consider a dream, how it is unreal in respect of thine experience of the objects of thy waking sense, but real also, both as it did in fact impress thy mind, and as it did express in arcane token some lust of thine angel. As I have already showed in this letter, consider the play of the chess, how its law hath made for itself a language and a literature, yet it is but an arbitrary invention, without impinging, save as it operateth thou pleasure and interest upon minds. On any other sphere soever of the universe, equally things called vulgarly real and material exist in the universe of our consciousness, only by the apprehension of their images in mind through sense, is how is color real, or material to a blind man, or a law mathematical true to him that is imbecile or demented. All things therefore, even if unreal and irrational, nay, inconceivable and impossible, such as iota in the theorem of de Moivre, exist in one form or another. The reality of any, though in itself absolute, is in regard of its relation with any other thing dependent upon the intercourse and language between them, conscious or unconscious. Consider azote that hath nigh 4 parts and 5 of the air, how it is not real to direct perception of any human sense, but yet most real to our lungs, diluting the oxygen, by whose love we were else violently combust. This is the measure of reality. The love and the pleasure of sin, and the blindness of the elder philosophers, de caesitia philosophorum antiquorum. Behold, how comfortable is this my wisdom, wherein I have resolved every conflict soever that it is or that can be, even in all dimensions, that antagonism of things no less than in the limitations I have set. Evil be thou my good, for it is the magical mirror of our Astarte, and the caduceus of our Hermes. Now this was the error of elder philosophers. Now this was the era of elder philosophers, that perceiving changeful duality is the cause of sorrow. They sought the reconcilement in unity and in stability. But I show thee the universe is the body of Our Lady Nuit, who is none and two. With headed her Lord is the alternator of those phases. This universe is then a perpetual by-coming, the vessel of every permutation of infinity, wherein every phenomenon is a sacrament, change being the act of love, duality the condition prodromal to that act, even as an axe must be taken back from a cedar that it may deliver its stroke. The error, therefore, of these philosophers lay in the false assumption that bliss, knowledge, and being, the qualities of the changeless unity, could be states. Oh, my son, how pitiful is the beggary! These paupers of sense and of experience and of observation. The emptiness of the bellies, was it that bred phantoms of ideal, so that they sought joy by crude denial of what truth, or rather fact, they had perceived concerning the universe, so that they set up an idol of death for their God in very rage of hatred against the sum of their own selves. And the Manichaean heresy, De Heresia Manichaea, these philosophers, or shall I not are in the high mass of the cosmos.
This is weird. Oh.
Please don't scroll.
Introduction. 1. The book. This book was dictated in Cairo between noon and 1 p.m. on 3 successive days, April 8th, 9th, and 10th in the year 1904. The author called himself Aiwas and claimed to be the minister of Hur-Par-Krat, that is, a messenger from the forces ruling this earth at present, as will be explained later on. How could he prove that he was, in fact, a being of a kind superior to any of the human race, and so entitled to speak with authority? Evidently, he must show knowledge and power, such as no man has ever been known to possess. He showed his knowledge chiefly by the use of cipher or cryptogram in certain passages to set forth recondite facts, including some events which had yet to take place, such that no human being could possibly be aware of them. Thus, the proof of his claim exists in the manuscript itself. It is independent of any human witness. The study of these passages necessarily demands supreme human scholarship to interpret. It needs years of intense application. A great deal has still to be worked out, but enough has been discovered to justify his claim. The most skeptical intelligence is compelled to admit its truth. This matter is best studied under the Master Therion, whose years of arduous research have led him to enlightenment. On the other hand, the language of most of the book is admirably simple, clear, and vigorous. No one can read it without being stricken in the very core of his being. The more than human power of Aiwas is shewn by the influence of his master and of the book upon actual events, and history fully supports the claim made by him. These facts are appreciable by everyone, but are better understood with the help of the Master Therion. The full detailed account of the events leading up to the dictation of this book, with facsimile reproduction of the manuscript and an essay by the Master Therion, is published in The Equinox of the Gods. 2. The Universe. This book explains the universe. The elements are Nuit, space, that is, the total of possibilities of every kind, and Hadit, any point which has experience of these possibilities. This idea is, for literary convenience, symbolized by the Egyptian goddess Nuit, a woman bending over like the arch of the night sky. Hadit is symbolized as a winged globe at the heart of Nuit. Every event is a uniting of some one monad with one of the experiences possible to it. Every man and every woman is a star. That is, an aggregate of such experiences, constantly changing with each fresh event, which affects him or her either consciously or subconsciously. Each one of us has, thus, a universe of his own, but it is the same universe for each one as soon as it includes all possible experience. This implies the extension of consciousness to include all other consciousness. In our present stage, the object that you see is never the same as the one I see. We infer that it is the same because your experience tallies with mine on so many points that the actual differences of our observation are negligible. For instance, if a friend is walking between us, you see only his left side, I see his right. But we agree that it is the same man, although we may differ not only as to what we may see of his body, but as to what we know of his qualities. This conviction of identity grows stronger as we see him more often and get to know him better. Yet all the time, neither of us can know anything of him at all, beyond the total impression made on our respective minds. The above is an extremely crude attempt to explain a system which reconciles all existing schools of philosophy. 3. The Law of Thelema. This book lays down a simple code of conduct. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. This means that each of us stars is to move on our own true orbit, as marked out by the nature of our position, the law of our growth, the impulse of our past experiences. All events are equally lawful, and every one necessary in the long run, for all of us, in theory. But in practice, only one act is lawful for each one of us at any given moment. Therefore, duty consists in determining to experience the right event from one moment of consciousness to another. Each action or emotion is an act of love, the uniting with one or another part of nuit. Each such act must be under will, chosen so as to fulfill and not to thwart the true nature of the being concerned. The technical methods of achieving this are to be studied in magic, or acquired by personal instruction from the Master Therion and his appointed assistants. 4. The New Eon. The third chapter of the book is difficult to understand and may be very repugnant to many people born before the date of the book, April 1904. It tells us the characteristics of the period on which we are now entered. Superficially, they appear appalling. We see some of them already with terrifying clarity. But fear not. It explains that certain vast stars or aggregates of experience may be described as gods. One of these is in charge of the destinies of this planet for periods of 2,000 years. In the history of the world, as far as we know accurately, are 3 such gods. Isis, the mother, when the universe was conceived as simple nourishment drawn directly from her. This period is marked by matriarchal government. Next, beginning 500 BC, Osiris, the father, when the universe was imagined as catastrophic, love, death, resurrection, as the method by which experience was built up. This corresponds to patriarchal systems. Now, Horus, the child, in which we come to perceive events as a continual growth partaking in its elements of both these methods, and not to be overcome by circumstance. This present period involves the recognition of the individual as the unit of society. We realize ourselves as explained in the first paragraphs of this essay. Every event, including death, is only one more accretion to our experience, freely willed by ourselves from the beginning and therefore also predestined. This god, Horus, has a technical title, Heru Ra-Ha, a combination of twin gods, Ra-Hur-Khwit and Hur-Par-Krat. The meaning of this doctrine must be studied in magic. He is symbolized as a hawk-headed god enthroned. He rules the present period of 2,000 years, beginning in 1904. Everywhere his government is taking root. Observe for yourselves the decay of the sense of sin, the growth of innocence and irresponsibility, the strange modifications of the reproductive instinct with a tendency to become bisexual or epicene, the childlike confidence in progress combined with nightmare fear of catastrophe, against which we are yet half unwilling to take precautions. Consider the outcrop of dictatorships, only possible when moral growth is in its earliest stages, and the prevalence of infantile cults like communism, fascism, pacifism, health crazes, occultism in nearly all its forms, religions sentimentalized to the point of practical extinction. Consider the popularity of the cinema, the wireless, the football pools and guessing competitions, all devices for soothing fractious infants, no seed of purpose in them. Consider sport, the babyish enthusiasms and rages which it excites, whole nations disturbed by disputes between boys. Consider war, the atrocities which occur daily and leave us unmoved and hardly worried. We are children. How this new eon of Horus will develop, how the child will grow up, these are for us to determine, growing up ourselves in the way of the law of Thelema, under the enlightened guidance of the Master Therion. 5. The next step. Democracy Daughters. Ferocious fascism, cackling communism, equally frauds, cavort crazily all over the globe. They are hemming us in. They are abortive births of the child, the new eon of Horus. Liberty stirs once more in the womb of time. Evolution makes its changes by anti-socialistic ways. The abnormal man who foresees the trend of the times and adapts circumstance intelligently is laughed at, persecuted, often destroyed by the herd, but he and his heirs, when the crisis comes, are survivors. Above us today hangs a danger never yet paralleled in history. We suppress the individual in more and more ways. We think in terms of the herd. War no longer kills soldiers, it kills all indiscriminately. Every new measure of the most democratic and autocratic governments is communistic in essence. It is always restriction. We are all treated as imbecile children. DORA, the shops acts, the motoring laws, Sunday suffocation, the censorship. They won't trust us to cross the roads at will. Fascism is like communism and dishonest into the bargain. The dictators suppress all art, literature, theater, music, news that does not meet their requirements. Yet the world only moves by the light of genius. The herd will be destroyed in mass. The establishment of the law of Thelema is the only way to preserve individual liberty and to assure the future of the race. In the words of the famous paradox of the Comte de Phoenix, the absolute rule of the state shall be a function of the absolute liberty of each individual will. All men and women are invited to cooperate with the Master Therion in this, the great work. O.M. Liber al vel legis, subfigura 220, as delivered by 93 equals 418 to 666. Chapter 1. Hod, the manifestation of Nuit, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior lord of Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou Hadit, my secret center, my heart and my tongue. Behold, it is revealed by Iwas, the minister of Hurapar Krat. The cobs is in the coup, not the coup in the cobs. Worship then the cobs, and behold my light shed over you. Let my servants be few and secret, they shall rule the many and the known. These are fools that men adore, both their gods and their men are fools. Come forth, O children, under the stars, and take your fill of love. I am above you and in you. My ecstasy is in yours. My joy is to see your joy. Above, the gemmed azure is the naked splendor of Nuit. She bends in ecstasy to kiss the secret ardors of Hadid. The winged globe, the starry blue, are mine, O Ankh of Nakansu. Now ye shall know that the chosen priest and apostle of infinite space is the prince priest the beast, and in his woman called the Scarlet Woman is all power given. They shall gather my children into their fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men. For he is ever a sun, and she a moon. But to him is the winged secret flame, and to her the stooping starlight. But ye are not so chosen. Burn upon their brows, O splendorous serpent, O azure-lidded woman, bend upon them. The key of the rituals is in the secret word which I have given unto him. With the god and the adorer I am nothing. They do not see me. They are as upon the earth. I am heaven, and there is no other god than me, and my lord Hadid. Now, therefore, I am known to ye by my name Nuit, and to him by a secret name which I will give him when at last he knoweth me. Since I am infinite space, and the infinite stars thereof, do ye also thus. Bind nothing. Let there be no difference made among you between any one thing and any other thing, for thereby cometh hurt. But whoso availeth in this, let him be the chief of all. I am Nuit, and my word is 6 and 50. Divide, add, multiply, and understand. Then saith the prophet and slave of the beauteous one, Who am I, and what shall be the sign? So she answered him, bending down, a lambent flame of blue, all touching, all penetrant, her lovely hands upon the black earth, and her lithe body arched for love, and her soft feet not hurting the little flowers. Thou knowest, and the sign shall be my ecstasy, the consciousness of the continuity of existence, the omnipresence of my body. Then the priest answered and said unto the queen of space, kissing her lovely brows, and the dew of her light bathing his whole body in a sweet-smelling perfume of sweat, O Nuit, continuous one of heaven, let it be ever thus, that men speak not of thee as one, but as none, and let them speak not of thee at all, since thou art continuous. None breathe the light, faint and fairy, of the stars, and two. For I am divided for love's sake, for the chance of union. This is the creation of the world, that the pain of division is as nothing, and the joy of dissolution all. For these fools of men and their woes care not thou at all. They feel little. What is balanced by weak joys. But ye are my chosen ones. Obey my prophet. Follow out the ordeals of my knowledge. Seek me only. Then the joys of my love will redeem ye from all pain. This is so. I swear it by the vault of my body, by my sacred heart and tongue, by all I can give, by all I desire of ye all. Then the priest fell into a deep trance or swoon, and said unto the Queen of Heaven, Write unto us the ordeals, write unto us the rituals, write unto us the law. But she said, The ordeals I write not, the rituals shall be half known and half concealed. The law is for all. This that thou writest is the threefold book of law. My scribe Onkof Nakansu, the priest of the princes, shall not in one letter change this book, but lest there be folly, he shall comment thereupon by the wisdom of Ra Huarquit. Also the mantras and the spells, the obeya and the wanga, the work of the wand and the work of the sword, these he shall learn and teach. He must teach, but he may make severe the ordeals. The word of the law is Thelema. Who calls us Thelemites will do no wrong if he look but close into the word, for there are therein 3 grades, the hermit and the lover and the man of earth. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The word of sin is restriction. O man, refuse not thy wife if she will. O lover, if thou wilt, depart. There is no bond that can unite the divided but love. All else is a curse. Accursed be it to the eons. Hell. Let it be that state of manyhood bound and loathing, so that with thy all thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that, and no other shall say nay. For pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. The perfect and the perfect are one perfect, and not 2. Nay, are none. Nothing is a secret key of this law. 61 the Jews call it. I call it 8, 80, 418. But they have the half. Unite by thine art so that all disappear. My prophet is a fool with his one. Are not they the ox, and none by the book? Abracad are all rituals, all ordeals, all words and signs. Ra Huarquit hath taken his seat in the east at the equinox of the gods, and let Asar be with Issa, who are also one. But they are not of me. Let Asar be the adherent, Issa the sufferer, Hur in his secret name and splendor is the Lord initiating. There is a word to say about the hierophantic task. Behold, there are 3 ordeals in one, and it may be given in 3 ways. The gross must pass through fire. Let the fine be tried in intellect, and the lofty chosen ones in the highest. Thus ye have star in star, system in system. Let not one know well the other. There are 4 gates to one palace. The floor of that palace is of silver and gold. Lapis lazuli and jasper are there, and all rare scents, jasmine and rose, and the emblems of death. Let him enter in turn, or at once the 4 gates. Let him stand on the floor of the palace. Will he not sink? Ho, warrior, if thy servant sink. But there are means and means. Be goodly therefore. Dress ye all in fine apparel. Eat rich foods, and drink sweet wines, and wines that foam. Also take your fill and will of love as ye will, when, where, and with whom ye will, but always unto me. If this be not aright, if ye confound the space marks saying, they are one, or saying, they are many, if the ritual be not ever unto me, then expect the direful judgments of Ra Huarquit. This shall regenerate the world, the little world, my sister, my heart and my tongue, unto whom I send this kiss. Also, O scribe and prophet, though thou be of the princes, it shall not assuage thee nor absolve thee, but ecstasy be thine and joy of earth, ever to me, to me. Change not as much as the style of a letter, for behold, thou, O prophet, shalt not behold all these mysteries hidden therein. The child of thy bowels, he shall behold them. Expect him not from the east, nor from the west, for from no expected house cometh that child. All words are sacred, and all prophets true, save only that they understand a little. Solve the first half of the equation, leave the second unattacked. But thou hast all in the clear light, and some, though not all, in the dark. Invoke me under my stars. Love is the law, love under will. Nor let the fools mistake love, for there are love and love. There is the dove, and there is the serpent. Choose ye well. He, my prophet, hath chosen, knowing the law of the fortress, and the great mystery of the house of God. All these old letters of my book are aright, but Sadi is not the star. This also is secret. My prophet shall reveal it to the wise. I give unimaginable joys on earth, certainty, not faith, while in life. Upon death, peace unutterable, rest, ecstasy, nor do I demand aught in sacrifice. My incense is of resinous woods and gums, and there is no blood therein, because of my hair, the trees of eternity. My number is 11, as all their numbers who are of us. The five-pointed star with a circle in the middle, and the circle is red. My color is black to the blind, but the blue and gold are seen of the seeing. Also I have a secret glory for them that love me. But to love me is better than all things. If under the night stars in the desert thou presently burnest mine incense before me, invoking me with a pure heart and the serpent flame therein, thou shalt come a little to lie in my bosom. For one kiss wilt thou then be willing to give all, but whoso gives one particle of dust shall lose all in that hour. Ye shall gather goods and store of women and spices. Ye shall wear rich jewels. Ye shall exceed the nations of the earth in splendor and pride, but always in the love of me, and so shall ye come to my joy. I charge you earnestly to come before me in a single robe and covered with a rich headdress. I love you. I yearn to you. Pale or purple, veiled or voluptuous, I who am all pleasure and purple and drunkenness of the innermost sense, desire you. Put on the wings and arouse the coiled splendor within you. Come unto me. At all my meetings with you shall the priestess say, and her eyes shall burn with desire as she stands bare and rejoicing in my secret temple. To me, calling forth the flame of the hearts of all in her love chant. Sing the rapturous love song unto me. Burn to me perfumes. Wear to me jewels. Drink to me, for I love you. I love you. I am the blue-lidded daughter of sunset. I am the naked brilliance of the voluptuous night sky. To me. The manifestation of new wheat is at an end. Chapter 2. Nu, the hiding of Hadit. Come, all ye, and learn the secret that hath not yet been revealed. I, Hadit, am the complement of Nu, my bride. I am not extended, and Cobs is the name of my house. In the sphere I am everywhere the center, as she, the circumference, is nowhere found. Yet she shall be known, and I never. Behold, the rituals of the old time are black. Let the evil ones be cast away. Let the good ones be purged by the prophet. Then shall this knowledge go aright. I am the flame that burns in every heart of man and in the core of every star. I am life, and the giver of life. Yet therefore is the knowledge of me the knowledge of death. I am the magician and the exorcist. I am the axle of the wheel and the cube in the circle. Come unto me is a foolish word, for it is I that go. Who worshipped Herupa-Kroth have worshipped me. Ill, for I am the worshipper. Remember all ye that existence is pure joy, that all the sorrows are but as shadows. They pass and are done, but there is that which remains. O prophet, thou hast ill will to learn this writing. I see thee hate the hand and the pen, but I am stronger. Because of me and thee, which thou knewest not. For why? Because thou wast the knower, and me. Now let there be a veiling of this shrine. Now let the light devour men and eat them up with blindness. For I am perfect, being naught, and my number is 9 by the fools. But with the just I am 8, and 1 in 8, which is vital, for I am none indeed. The empress and the king are not of me, for there is a further secret. I am the empress and the hierophant, thus 11, as my bride is 11. Hear me, ye people of sighing. The sorrows of pain and regret are left to the dead and the dying, the folk that not know me as yet. These are dead, these fellows. They feel not. We are not for the poor and sad. The lords of the earth are our kinsfolk. Is God to live in a dog? No, but the highest are of us. They shall rejoice, our chosen, who sorroweth is not of us. Beauty and strength, leaping laughter and delicious languor, force and fire are of us. We have nothing with the outcast and the unfit. Let them die in their misery, for they feel not. Compassion is the vice of kings. Stamp down the wretched and the weak. This is the law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. Think not, O king, upon that lie, that thou must die. Verily thou shalt not die, but live. Now let it be understood, if the body of the king dissolve, he shall remain in pure ecstasy forever. Nuit, Hadit, Ra-Hur-Kuit. The sun, strength and sight, light. These are for the servants of the star and the snake. I am the snake that giveth knowledge and delight and bright glory, and stir the hearts of men with drunkenness. To worship me take wine and strange drugs, whereof I will tell my prophet, and be drunk thereof. They shall not harm ye at all. It is a lie, this folly against self. The exposure of innocence is a lie. Be strong, O man, lust, enjoy all things of sense and rapture. Fear not that any God shall deny thee for this. I am alone. There is no God where I am. Behold, these be grave mysteries, for there are also of my friends who be hermits. Now think not to find them in the forest or on the mountain, but in beds of purple, caressed by magnificent beasts of women, with large limbs and fire and light in their eyes, and masses of flaming hair about them. There shall ye find them. Ye shall see them at rule, at victorious armies, at all the joy, and there shall be in them a joy 1,000,000 times greater than this. Beware lest any force another king against king. Love one another with burning hearts. On the low men trample in the fierce lust of your pride, in the day of your wrath. Ye are against the people, O my chosen. I am the secret serpent coiled, about to spring. In my coiling there is joy. If I lift up my head, I and my Nuit are one. If I droop down mine head and shoot forth venom, then is rapture of the earth, and I and the earth are one. There is a great danger in me, for who doth not understand these runes shall make a great miss. He shall fall down into the pit called Because, and there he shall perish with the dogs of reason. Now a curse upon Because and his kin. May Because be accursed forever. If will stops and cries why, invoking Because, then will stops and does not. If power asks why, then is power weakness. Also reason is a lie, for there's a factor infinite and unknown, and all their words are skew-wise. Enough of Because, be he damned for a dog. But ye, O my people, rise up and awake. Let the rituals be rightly performed with joy and beauty. There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times, a feast for the first night of the prophet and his bride, a feast for the 3 days of the writing of the book of the law, a feast for Tahuti and the child of the prophet, secret, O prophet, a feast for the supreme ritual, and a feast for the equinox of the gods, a feast for fire and a feast for water, a feast for life and a greater feast for death, a feast every day in your hearts in the joy of my rapture, a feast every night unto new, and the pleasure of uttermost delight. Aye, feast, rejoice, there is no dread hereafter, there is the dissolution and eternal ecstasy in the kisses of new. There is death for the dogs. Dost thou fail? Art thou sorry? Is fear in thine heart? Where I am, these are not. Pity not the fallen, I never knew them, I am not for them, I console not, I hate the consoled and the consoler. I am unique and conqueror, I am not of the slaves that perish, be they damned and dead. Amen. This is of the four, there is a fifth who is invisible, and therein am I as a babe in an egg. Blue am I and gold in the light of my bride, but the red gleam is in my eyes, and my spangles are purple and green. Purple beyond purple, it is the light higher than eyesight. There is a veil. That veil is black. It is the veil of the modest woman. It is the veil of sorrow and the pall of death. This is none of me. Tear down that lying specter of the centuries. Veil not your vices in virtuous words. These vices are my service. Ye do well, and I will reward you here and hereafter. Fear not, O prophet, when these words are said. Thou shalt not be sorry. Thou art emphatically my chosen, and blessed are the eyes that thou shalt look upon with gladness. But I will hide thee in a mask of sorrow. They that see thee shall fear thou art fallen, but I lift thee up. Nor shall they who cry aloud their folly that thou meanest not avail. Thou shalt reveal it. Thou availest. They are the slaves of Because. They are not of me. The stops as thou wilt. The letters, change them not in style or value. Thou shalt obtain the order and value of the English alphabet. Thou shalt find new symbols to attribute them unto. Begone, ye mockers, even though ye laugh in my honor, ye shall laugh not long. When ye are sad, know that I have forsaken you. He that is righteous shall be righteous still. He that is filthy shall be filthy still. Yea, deem not of change, ye shall be as ye are, and not other. Therefore the kings of the earth shall be kings forever, the slaves shall serve. There is none that shall be cast down or lifted up, all is ever as it was. Yet there are masked ones, my servant. It may be that yonder beggar is a king. A king may choose his garment as he will. There is no certain test, but a beggar cannot hide his poverty. Beware, therefore, love all, lest perchance is a king concealed. Say you so? Fool, if he be a king, thou canst not hurt him. Therefore strike hard and low, and to hell with them, master. There is a light before thine eyes, O prophet, a light undesired, most desirable. I am uplifted in thine heart, and the kisses of the stars rain hard upon thy body. Thou art exhausted in the voluptuous fullness of the inspiration. The expiration is sweeter than death, more rapid and laughterful than a caress of hell's own worm. Oh, thou art overcome. We are upon thee. Our delight is all over thee. Hail, hail, prophet of Nu, prophet of Hod, prophet of Ra-Hur-Ku. Now rejoice. Now come in our splendor and rapture. Come in our passionate peace and write sweet words for the kings. I am the master. Thou art the holy chosen one. Write and find ecstasy in writing. Work and be our bed in working. Thrill with the joy of life and death. Ah, thy death shall be lovely. Whoso seeth it shall be glad. Thy death shall be the seal of the promise of our age-long love. Come, lift up thine heart and rejoice. We are one. We are none. Hold, hold, bear up in thy rapture. Fall not in swoon of the excellent kisses. Harder, hold up thyself. Lift thine head. Breathe not so deep. Die. Ah, ah, what do I feel? Is the word exhausted? There is help and hope in other spells. Wisdom says, be strong, then canst thou bear more joy. Be not animal, refine thy rapture. If thou drink, drink by the 98 rules of art. If thou love, exceed by delicacy. And if thou do aught joyous, let there be subtlety therein. But exceed, exceed. Strive ever to more. And if thou art truly mine, and doubt it not, and if thou art ever joyous, death is the crown of all. Ah, ah, death, death. Thou shalt long for death. Death is forbidden, O man, unto thee. The length of thy longing shall be the strength of its glory. He that lives long and desires death much is ever the king among the kings. Aye, listen to the numbers and the words. 4, 6, 3, 8, A, B, K, 2, 4, A, L, G, M, O, R, 3, Y, X, 24, 89, R, P, S, T, O, V, A, L. What meaneth this, O prophet? Thou knowest not, nor shalt thou know ever. There cometh one to follow thee, he shall expound it. But remember, O chosen one, to be me, to follow the love of Nu in the starlit heaven, to look forth upon men, to tell them this glad word. O be thou proud and mighty among men. Lift up thyself, for there is none like unto thee among men or among gods. Lift up thyself, O my prophet. Thy stature shall surpass the stars. They shall worship thy name, foursquare, mystic, wonderful, the number of the man, and the name of thy house, 418. The end of the hiding of Hadit, and blessing and worship to the prophet of the lovely star. Chapter 3. Abrahadabra, the reward of Ra-Hur-Kut. There is division hither homeward. There is a word not known. Spelling is defunct. All is not aught. Beware. Hold. Raise the spell of Ra-Hur-Kwit. Now let it be first understood that I am a god of war and vengeance. I shall deal hardly with them. Choose ye an island. Fortify it. Dung it about with enginery of war. I will give you a war engine. With it ye shall smite the peoples, and none shall stand before you. Lurk. Withdraw. Upon them. This is the law of the battle of conquest. Thus shall my worship be about my secret house. Get the stele of revealing itself. Set it in thy secret temple, and that temple is already aright disposed, and it shall be your Qibla forever. It shall not fade, but miraculous color shall come back to it day after day. Close it in locked glass for a proof to the world. This shall be your only proof. I forbid argument. Conquer. That is enough. I will make easy to you the obstruction from the ill-ordered house in the victorious city. Thou shalt thyself convey it with worship, O prophet, though thou likest it not. Thou shalt have danger and trouble. Ra-Hur-Ku is with thee. Worship me with fire and blood. Worship me with swords and with spears. Let the woman be girt with a sword before me. Let blood flow to my name. Trample down the heathen. Be upon them, O warrior. I will give you of their flesh to eat. Sacrifice cattle, little and big, after a child. But not now. Ye shall see that hour, O blessed beast, and thou the scarlet concubine of his desire. Ye shall be sad thereof. Deem not too eagerly to catch the promises. Fear not to undergo the curses. Ye, even ye, know not this meaning all. Fear not at all. Fear neither men, nor fates, nor gods, nor anything. Money fear not, nor laughter of the folk folly, nor any other power in heaven or upon the earth or under the earth. Nu is your refuge as Hadit your light, and I am the strength, force, vigor of your arms. Mercy let be off. Damn them who pity. Kill and torture. Spare not. Be upon them. That stele they shall call the abomination of desolation. Count well its name, and it shall be to you as 718. Why? Because of the fall of because, that he is not there again. Set up my image in the east. Thou shalt buy thee an image which I will show thee is special, not unlike the one thou knowest. And it shall be suddenly easy for thee to do this. The other images group around me to support me. Let all be worshipped, for they shall cluster to exalt me. I am the visible object of worship. The others are secret. For the beast and his bride are they, and for the winners of the ordeal X. What is this? Thou shalt know. For perfume mix meal and honey and thick leavings of red wine, then oil of abramelin and olive oil, and afterwards soften and smooth down with rich fresh blood. The best blood is of the moon, monthly, then the fresh blood of a child or dropping from the host of heaven, then of enemies, then of the priest or of the worshippers, last of some beast, no matter what. This burn. Of this make cakes and eat unto me. This hath also another use. Let it be laid before me and kept thick with perfumes of your orison. It shall become full of beetles, as it were, and creeping things sacred unto me. These slay, naming your enemies, and they shall fall before you. Also these shall breed lust and power of lust in you at the eating thereof. Also ye shall be strong in war. Moreover, be they long kept, it is better, for they swell with my force, all before me. My altar is of open brasswork, burned thereon in silver or gold. There cometh a rich man from the west, who shall pour his gold upon thee. From gold forged steel, be ready to fly or to smite. But your holy place shall be untouched throughout the centuries. Though with fire and sword it be burnt down and shattered, yet an invisible house there standeth, and shall stand until the fall of the great equinox, when Humrachus shall arise, and the double-wanded one assume my throne and place. Another prophet shall arise, and bring fresh fever from the skies. Another woman shall awake the lust and worship of the snake. Another soul of God and beast shall mingle in the globed priest. Another sacrifice shall stain the tomb. Another king shall reign, and blessing no longer be poured to the hawk-headed mystical lord. The half of the word of Huru Raha, called Hur-Par Krat and Ra-Hur-Kwit. Then said the prophet unto the god, I adore thee in the song. I am the lord of Thebes, and I, the inspired fourth speaker of Mentu. For me unveils the veiled sky, the self-slain Onkof Nakansu, whose words are truth. I invoke, I greet thy presence, O Ra-Hur-Kwit. Unity uttermost showed. I adore the might of thy breath, supreme and terrible God, who makest the gods in death to tremble before thee. I adore thee. Appear on the throne of Ra. Open the ways of the Ku. Lighten the ways of the Ka. The ways of the Cobs run through to stir me or still me. Let it fill me, so that thy light is in me, and its red flame is as a sword in my hand to push thy order. There is a secret door that I shall make to establish thy way in thy orders. These are the adorations as thou hast written. As it is said, the light is mine, its rays consume me. I have made a secret door into the house of Ra and Tum, of Kephra and of Ahathor. I am thy Theban, O Mentu, the prophet Onkof Nakansu. By best Namat my breast I beat, by wise Tanek I weave my spell. Show thy star splendor, O Nuit. Bid me within thine house to dwell, O winged snake of light, Hadit. Abide with me, Ra-Hur-Kwit. All this and a book to say how thou didst come hither, and a reproduction of this ink and paper forever. For in it is the word secret, and not only in the English. And thy comment upon this, the book of the law, shall be printed beautifully in red ink and black upon beautiful paper made by hand. And to each man and woman that thou meetest, were it but to dine or to drink at them, it is the law to give. Then they shall chance to abide in this bliss or no. It is no odds. Do this quickly. But the work of the comment, that is easy, and Hadit burning in thy heart shall make swift and secure thy pen. Establish at thy cobble a clerk house. All must be done well and with business way. The ordeal shalt thou oversee thyself, save only the blind ones. Refuse none, but thou shalt know and destroy the traitors. I am Ra Huaquit, and I am powerful to protect my servant. Success is thy proof. Argue not, convert not, talk not overmuch. Them that seek to entrap thee, to overthrow thee, them attack without pity or quarter, and destroy them utterly. Swift as a trodden serpent, turn and strike. Be thou yet deadlier than he. Drag down their souls to awful torment. Laugh at their fear. Spit upon them. Let the scarlet woman beware. If pity and compassion and tenderness visit her heart, if she leave my work to toy with old sweetnesses, then shall my vengeance be known. I will slay me her child. I will alienate her heart. I will cast her out from men. As a shrinking and despised harlot shall she crawl through dusk-wet streets and die cold and an-hungered. But let her raise herself in pride. Let her follow me in my way. Let her work the work of wickedness. Let her kill her heart. Let her be loud and adulterous. Let her be covered with jewels and rich garments, and let her be shameless before all men. Then will I lift her to pinnacles of power. Then will I breed from her a child mightier than all the kings of earth. I will fill her with joy. With my force shall she see and strike at the worship of Nu. She shall achieve Hadit. I am the warrior lord of the 40s. The 80s cower before me and are abased. I will bring you to victory and joy. I will be at your arms in battle, and ye shall delight to slay. Success is your proof. Courage is your armor. Go on in my strength, and ye shall turn not back for any. This book shall be translated into all tongues, but always with the original in the writing of the beast. For in the chance shape of the letters and their position to one another, in these are mysteries that no beast shall divine. Let him not seek to try, but one cometh after him, whence I say not, who shall discover the key of it all. Then this line drawn is a key. Then this circle squared in its failure is a key also, and abrahadabra. It shall be his child, and that strangely. Let him not seek after this, for thereby alone can he fall from it. Now this mystery of the letters is done, and I want to go on to the holier place. I am in a secret fourfold word, the blasphemy against all gods of men. Curse them, curse them, curse them. With my hawk's head I peck at the eyes of Jesus as he hangs upon the cross. I flap my wings in the face of Mohammed and blind him. With my claws I tear out the flesh of the Indian and the Buddhist, Mongol and Din. Balasti, Ompeda, I spit on your crapulous creeds. Let Mary and Violet be torn upon wheels. For her sake let all chaste women be utterly despised among you. Also for beauty's sake and love's. Despise also all cowards, professional soldiers who dare not fight but play. All fools despise. But the keen and the proud, the royal and the lofty, ye are brothers. As brothers fight ye. There is no law beyond, do what thou wilt. There is an end of the word of the God enthroned in Ra's seat, lightening the girders of the soul. To me do ye reverence. To me come ye through tribulation of ordeal, which is bliss. The fool readeth this book of the law and its comment, and he understandeth it not. Let him come through the first ordeal, and it will be to him as silver, through the second, gold, through the third, stones of precious water, through the fourth, ultimate sparks of the intimate fire. Yet to all it shall seem beautiful. Its enemies who say not so are mere liars. There is success. I am the hawk-headed lord of silence and of strength. My nemesis shrouds the night blue sky. Hail, ye twin warriors about the pillars of the world, for your time is nigh at hand. I am the lord of the double wand of power, the wand of the force of Kafnia. But my left hand is empty, for I have crushed an universe and naught remains. Paste the sheets from right to left and top to bottom. Then behold, there is a splendor in my name hidden and glorious, as the son of midnight is ever the sun. The ending of the words is the word abrahadabra. The book of the law is written and concealed. Ha. The comment. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The study of this book is forbidden. It is wise to destroy this copy after the first reading. Whosoever disregards this does so at his own risk and peril. These are most dire. Those who discuss the contents of this book are to be shunned by all as centers of pestilence. All questions of the law are to be decided only by appeal to my writings, each for himself. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. Love is the law, love under will. The priest of the princes, Ankh of Nakansu.
With the help of Zero's small business.
Let me put you onto something.
Getting your degree online.
No, but seriously, this is something a lot of people sleep on. Well,
The Book of Lies by Aleister Crowley, Chapters 0 through 50. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. AA publication in classes C and D. Official for Babes of the Abyss. Imprimatur in Frater AA. Liber 333. The Book of Lies, which is also falsely called Breaks. The wanderings or falsifications of the one thought of Frater Perdurabo, which thought is itself untrue. Break, break, break at the foot of thy stones, O sea. I would that I could utter the thoughts that arise in me. Question mark. Exclamation point. Chapter 0. The chapter that is not a chapter. Oh, the anti-primal triad which is not God. Nothing is, nothing becomes, nothing is not. The first triad which is God. I am. I utter the word. I hear the word. The abyss. The word is broken up. There is knowledge. Knowledge is relation. These fragments are creation. The broken manifests light. The second triad, which is God. God the Father and Mother is concealed in generation. God is concealed in the whirling energy of nature. God is manifest in gathering, harmony, consideration, the mirror of the sun and of the heart. The third triad, bearing, preparing, wavering, flowing, flashing, stability, begetting. The 10th emanation, the world. Chapter 1, the Sabbath of the Goat. Oh, the heart of Nox, the night of Pan. Pan, duality, energy, death. Death, begetting, the supporters of O. To beget is to die. To die is to beget. Cast the seed into the field of night. Life and death are two names of A. Kill thyself. Neither of these alone is enough. Chapter 2. The Cry of the Hawk. Hur hath the secret fourfold name. It is, do what thou wilt. 4 words, not one, many, all. Thou child, thy name is holy, thy kingdom is come, thy will is done. Here is the bread, here is the blood. Bring us through temptation, deliver us from good and evil. That mine as thine be the crown of the kingdom, even now. Abrahadabra. These 10 words are for the name of the one. Chapter 3. The Oyster. The brothers of AA are one with the mother of the child. The many is as adorable to the one as the one is to the many. This is the love of these. Creation, parturition, is the bliss of the one. Coition, dissolution, is the bliss of the many. The all, thus interwoven of these, is bliss. Naught is beyond bliss. The man delights in uniting with the woman. The woman in parting from the child. The brothers of AA are women. The aspirants to AA are men. Chapter 4. Peaches. Soft and hollow, how thou dost overcome the hard and full. It dies, it gives itself. To thee is the fruit. Be thou the bride, thou shalt be the mother hereafter. To all impressions thus, let them not overcome thee, yet let them breed within thee. The least of the impressions, come to its perfection, is Pan. Receive 1,000 lovers, thou shalt bear but one child. This child shall be the heir of Fate the Father. Chapter 5. The Battle of the Ants. That is not which is. The only word is silence. The only meaning of that word is not. Thoughts are false. Fatherhood is unity disguised as duality. Peace implies war. Power implies war. Harmony implies war. Victory implies war. Glory implies war. Foundation implies war. Alas for the kingdom wherein all these are at war. Chapter 6. Caviar. The word was uttered. The one exploded into 1,000 million worlds. Each world contained 1,000 million spheres. Each sphere contained 1,000 million planets. Each planet contained 1,000 million stars. Each star contained a many thousand million things. Of these the reasoner took 6, and, preening, said, "This is the one and the all." These 6 the adept harmonized, and said, "This is the heart of the one and the all." These 6 were destroyed by the master of the temple, and he spake not. The ash thereof was burnt up by the magus into the word. Of all this did the Ipsissimus know nothing. Chapter 7. The Dinosaurs. None are they whose number is 6, else were they 6 indeed. 7 are these 6 that live not in the city of the pyramids, under the night of Pan. There was Lao Tzu, there was Siddhartha, there was Krishna, there was Tahuti, there was Moshe, there was Dionysus, there was Mahmud. But the 7th men called Perdurabo, for, enduring unto the end, at the end, was not to endure. Amen. Chapter 8. Steeped Horsehair. Mind is a disease of semen. All that a man is or may be is hidden therein. Bodily functions are parts of the machine, silent unless in disease. But mind, never at ease, creaketh I. This I persisteth not, posteth not through generations, changeth momently, finally is dead. Therefore is man only himself, when lost to himself in the charioting. Chapter 9. The Branks. Being is the noun, form is the adjective, matter is the noun, motion is the verb. Wherefore hath being clothed itself with form? Wherefore hath matter manifested itself in motion? Answer not, O silent one, for there is no wherefore, No, because the name of that is not known. The pronoun interprets, that is, misinterprets, it. Time and space are adverbs. Duality begat the conjunction. The conditioned is father of the preposition. The article also marketh division, but the interjection is the sound that endeth in silence. Destroy thereof the 8 parts of speech. The 9th is nigh unto truth. This also must be destroyed before thou enterest into the silence. Chapter 10. Whittlestraws. The abyss of hallucination has law and reason, but in truth there is no bond between the toys of the gods. This reason and law is the bond of the great lie. Truth, 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 crieth the Lord of the abyss of hallucinations. There is no silence in that abyss, for all that men call silence is its speech. The abyss is also called hell, and the many. Its name is consciousness and the universe among men. But that which neither is silent nor speaks rejoices therein. Chapter 11. The Glowworm. Concerning the holy three and naught, knew it, had it, Rahur Kuit, are only to be understood by the master of the temple. They are above the abyss, and contain all contradiction in themselves. Below them is a seeming duality of chaos and Babylon. These are called father and mother, but it is not so. They are called brother and sister, but it is not so. They are called husband and wife, but it is not so. The reflection of all is Pan. The night of Pan is the annihilation of the all. Cast down through the abyss is the light, the rosy cross, the rapture of union that destroys. That is the way. The rosy cross is the ambassador of Pan. How infinite is the distance from this to that, yet all is here and now, nor is there any there or then, for all that is, what is it, but a manifestation, that is a part, that is a falsehood, of that which is not. Yet that which is not neither is nor is not that which is. Identity is perfect, therefore the law of identity is but a lie. For there is no subject, and there is no predicate, nor is there the contradictory of either of these things. Holy, holy, holy are these truths that I utter, knowing them to be but falsehoods. Broken mirrors, troubled waters. Hide me, O Our Lady, in thy womb, for I may not endure the rapture. In this utterance of falsehood upon falsehood, whose contradictories are also false, it seems as if that which I uttered not were true. Blessed, unutterably blessed, is the last of the illusions. Let me play the man, and thrust it from me. Amen. Chapter 12. The Dragonflies. I-O is the cry of the lower, as O-I of the higher. In figures they are 1001. In letters they are joy. For when all is equilibrated, when all is beheld from without all, there is joy, joy, joy that is but one facet of a diamond, every other facet whereof is more joyful than joy itself. Chapter 13. Pilgrim Talk. O thou that settest upon the path, false is the phantom that thou seeketh. When thou hast it, thou shalt know all bitterness, thy teeth fixed in the Sodom apple. Thus hast thou been lured along that path, whose terror else had driven thee far away. O thou that stridest upon the middle of the path, no phantoms mock thee. for the stride's sake thou stridest. Thus art thou lured along that path, whose fascination else had driven thee far away. O thou that drawest toward the end of the path, effort is no more. Faster and faster dost thou fall. Thy weariness is changed into ineffable rest, for there is no thou upon that path. Thou hast become the way. Chapter 14. Onion Peelings. The universe is the practical joke of the general at the expense of the particular, quoth Frater Perdurabo, and laughed. But those disciples nearest to him wept, seeing the universal sorrow. Those next to them laughed, seeing the universal joke. Below these certain disciples wept, then certain laughed. Others next wept. Others next laughed. Next others wept. Next others laughed. Last came those that wept, because they could not see the joke, and those that laughed, lest they should be thought not to see the joke, and thought it safe to act like Frater Perdurabo. But though Frater Perdurabo laughed openly, he also at the same time wept secretly, and in himself he neither laughed nor wept, nor did he mean what he said. Chapter 15. The Gun Barrel. Mighty and erect is this will of mine, this pyramid of fire whose summit is lost in heaven. Upon it have I burned the corpse of my desire. Mighty and erect is this phallus of my will. The seed thereof is that which I have borne within me from eternity, and it is lost within the body of Our Lady of the Stars. I am not I am but a hollow tube to bring down fire from heaven. Mighty and marvelous is this weakness, this heaven, which draweth me into her womb, this dome which hideth, which absorbeth me. This is the night wherein I am lost, the love through which I am no longer I. Chapter 16. The Stag Beetle. Death implies change and individuality. If thou be that which hath no person, which is beyond the changing, even beyond changelessness, what hast thou to do with death? The bird of individuality is ecstasy, so also is its death. In love the individuality is slain. Who loves not love? Love death therefore, and long eagerly for it. Die daily. Chapter 17. The Swan. There is a swan whose name is Ecstasy. It wingeth from the deserts of the north. It wingeth through the blue. It wingeth over the fields of rice. At its coming they push forth the green. In all the universe this swan alone is motionless. It seems to move, as the sun seems to move. Such is the weakness of our sight. O fool, criest thou. Amen. Motion is relative. There is nothing that is still. Against this swan I shot an arrow. The white breast poured forth blood. Men smote me. Then, perceiving that I was but a pure fool, they let me pass. Thus, and not otherwise, I came to the temple of the Grail. Chapter 18. Dewdrops. Verily, love is death, and death is life to come. Man returneth not again, the stream floweth not uphill. The old life is no more, there is a new life that is not his. Yet that life is of his very essence. It is more he than all that he calls he. In the silence of a dewdrop is every tendency of his soul and of his mind, and of his body. It is the quintessence and the elixir of his being. Therein are the forces that made him, and his father and his father's father before him. This is the dew of immortality. Let this go free, even as it will. Thou art not its master, but the vehicle of it. Chapter 19. The Leopard and the Deer. The spots of the leopard are the sunlight in the glade. Pursue thou the deer stealthily at thy pleasure. The dappling of the deer is the sunlight in the glade. Concealed from the leopard, do thou feed at thy pleasure. Resemble all that surroundeth thee, yet be thyself, and take thy pleasure among the living. This is that which is written, lurk, in the book of the law. Chapter 20. Samson. The universe is in equilibrium. Therefore he that is without it, though his force be but a feather, can overturn the universe. Be not caught within that web, O child of freedom. Be not entangled in the universal lie, O child of truth. Chapter 21. The Blind Webster. It is not necessary to understand. It is enough to adore. The god may be of clay. Adore him. He becomes God. We ignore what created us. We adore what we create. Let us create nothing but God. That which causes us to create is our true father and mother. We create in our own image, which is theirs. Let us create, therefore, without fear. For we can create nothing that is not God. Chapter 22. The Despot. The waiters of the best eating houses mock the whole world. They estimate every client at his proper value. This I know certainly, because they always treat me with profound respect. Thus they have flattered me into praising them thus publicly. Yet it is true, and they have this insight because they serve, and because they can have no personal interest in the affairs of those whom they serve. An absolute monarch would be absolutely wise and good. But no man is strong enough to have no interest. Therefore, the best king would be pure chance. It is pure chance that rules the universe. Therefore, and only therefore, life is good. Chapter 23. Skidoo. What man is at ease in his inn? Get out. Wide is the world and cold. Get out. Thou hast become an initiate. Get out. But thou canst not get out by the way thou camest in. The way out is the way. Get out, for out is love and wisdom and power. Get out. If thou hast tea already, first get you tea, then get O, and so at last get out. Chapter 24. The Hawk and the Blind Worm. This book would translate beyond reason into the words of reason. Explain thou snow to them of Andaman. The slaves of reason call this book abuse of language. They are right. Language was made for men to eat and drink, make love, do barter, die. The wealth of a language consists in its abstracts. The poorest tongues have wealth of concretes. Therefore have adepts praised silence. At least it does not mislead as speech does. Also, speech is a symptom of thought. Yet silence is but the negative side of truth. The positive side is beyond even silence. Nevertheless, one true God crieth Hriliu, and the laughter laughter of the death rattle is akin. Chapter 25. The Star Ruby. Facing east, in the center, draw deep, deep, deep thy breath, closing thy mouth with thy right forefinger pressed against thy lower lip. Then, dashing down the hand with a great sweep back and out, expelling forcefully thy breath, cry, Apo Pantos Kakodemonos. With the same forefinger touch thy forehead, and say, Soy, thy member, and say, O Phale, thy right shoulder, and say, Iskoros, thy left shoulder, and say, Eucharistos. Then clasp thine hands, locking the fingers, and cry, I-A-O. Advance to the east. Imagine strongly a pentagram, right in thy forehead. Drawing the hands to the eyes, fling it forth, making the sign of Horus, and roar, Chaos! Retire thine hand in the sign of Hor-Pa-Krat. Go round to the north and repeat, but scream, Babylon! Go round to the west and repeat, but say, Eros. Go round to the south and repeat, but bellow, Psyche. Completing the circle widdershins, retire to the center, and raise thy voice in the paean with these words, Iopan, with the sign of NOX. Extend the arms in the form of a tau, and say, low but clear, Promo iungus, opisomo teletarchai, epidexia sinoches, eparistera demones, flagei, gar perimo ho aster ton pinte, kai in the still ho aster ton hex, est key. Repeat the cross Kabbalistic as above, and end as thou didst begin. Chapter 26. The Elephant and the Tortoise. The absolute and the condition together make the one absolute. The second, who is the fourth, the demiurge, whom all nations of men call the first, is a lie grafted upon a lie multiplied by a lie. Fourfold is he, the elephant upon whom the universe is poised, but the carapace of the tortoise supports and covers all. This tortoise is sixfold, the holy hexagram. These 6 and 4 are 10. 10, the one manifested that returns to the not unmanifest. The Almighty, the All-Ruler, the All-Knower, the All-Father, adored by all men and by me abhorred. Be thou accursed, be thou abolished, be thou annihilated. Amen. Chapter 27. The Sorcerer. A sorcerer, by the power of his magic, had subdued all things to himself. Would he travel? He could fly through space more swiftly than the stars. Would he eat, drink, and take his pleasure? There was none that did not instantly obey his bidding. In the whole system of 10 million times 10 million spheres, upon the 22 million planes, he had his desire. And with all this, he was but himself, alas. Chapter 28. The Pole Star. Love is all virtue, since the pleasure of love is but love, and the pain of love is but love. Love taketh no heed of that which is not, and of that which is. Absence exalteth love, and presence exalteth love. Love moveth from height to height of ecstasy, and faileth never. The wings of love droop not with time, nor slacken for life or for death. Love destroyeth self, uniting self with that which is not self, so that love breedeth all and none in one. Is it not so? No? Then thou art not lost in love. Speak not of love. Love always yieldeth. Love always hardeneth. May be. I write it, but to write her name. Chapter 29. The Southern Cross. Love, I love you. Night, night, cover us. Thou art night, O my love, and there are no stars but thine eyes. Dark night, sweet night, so warm and yet so fresh, so scented, yet so holy. Cover me, cover me. Let me be no more. Let me be thine. Let me be thou. Let me be neither thou nor I. Let there be love in night and night in love. N-O-X, the night of Pan, and Layla, the night before his threshold. Chapter 30. Jhana Dreams. Dreams are imperfections of sleep. Even so is consciousness the imperfection of waking. Dreams are impurities in the circulation of the blood. Even so is consciousness a disorder of life. Dreams are without proportion, without good sense, without truth. So also is consciousness. Awake from dream, the truth is known. Awake from waking, the truth is the unknown. Chapter 31. The Garret. It moves from motion into rest, and rests from rest into motion. These it does alway, for time is not. So that it does neither of these things. It does that one thing which we must express by two things, neither of which possesses any rational meaning. Yet its doing, which is no doing, is simple and yet complex, is neither free nor necessary, for all these ideas express relation, and it, comprehending all relation in its simplicity, is out of all relation, even with itself. All this is true and false, and it is true and false to say that it is true and false. Strain forth thy intelligence, O man, O worthy one, O chosen of it, to apprehend the discourse of the Master. For thus thy reason shall at last break down, as the fetter is struck from the slave's throat. Chapter 32. The Mountaineer. Consciousness is a symptom of disease. All that moves well moves without will. All skillfulness, all strain, all intention is contrary to ease. Practice 1,000 times and it becomes difficult. 1,000 and it becomes easy. 1,000 times 1,000, and it is no longer thou that doeth it, but it that doeth itself through thee. Nor until then is that which is done well done. Thus spoke Frater Perdurabo, as he leapt from rock to rock of the moraine, without ever casting his eyes upon the ground. Chapter 33. Baphomet. A black two-headed eagle is God. Even a black triangle is he. In his claw he beareth a sword. Yea, a sharp sword is held therein. This eagle was burnt up in the great fire, yet not a feather is scorched. This eagle is swallowed up in the great sea, yet not a feather is wetted. So flieth he in the air, and lighteth upon the earth at his pleasure. So spake Iacobus Burgundus Molensis, the Grand Master of the temple, and of the god that is ass-headed did he dare not speak. Chapter 34. The Smoking Dog. Each act of man is the twist and double of an hare. Love and death are the greyhounds that course him. God bred the hounds, and taketh his pleasure in the sport. This is the comedy of Pan, that man should think he hunteth, while those hounds hunt him. This is the tragedy of man, when facing love and death he turns to bay. He is no more hare, but boar. There are no other comedies or tragedies. Cease then to be the mockery of God. In savagery of love and death, live thou and die. Thus shall his laughter be thrilled through with ecstasy. Chapter 35. Venus of Milo. Life is as ugly and necessary as the female body. Death is as beautiful and necessary as the male body. The soul is beyond male and female, as it is beyond life and death. Even as the lingam and the yoni are but diverse developments of one organ, so also are life and death but two phases of one state. So also the absolute and the conditioned are but forms of that. What do I love? There is no form, no being, to which I do not give myself wholly up. Take me who will. Chapter 36. The Star Sapphire. Let the adept be armed with his magic rune, and provide him with his mystic rose. In the center, let him give the LVX signs, or if he know them, if he will and dare do them, and can keep silent about them, the signs of NOX, being the signs of puer, fear, puella, mulier. Omit the sign IR. Then let him advance to the east, and make the holy hexagram, saying, Pater et Mater, unus Deus ararita. Let him go round to the south, make the holy hexagram, and say, Mater et Filius, unus Deus ararita. Let him go round to the west, make the holy hexagram, and say, Filius et Filia, unus Deus ararita. Let him go round to the north, make the holy hexagram, and then say, Filia et Pater unus Deus ararita. Let him then return to the center, and so to the center of all, making the rosy cross as he may know how, saying, Ararita, Ararita, Ararita. In this the sign shall be those of Set triumphant and of Baphomet. Also shall Set appear in the circle. Let him drink of the sacrament, and let him communicate the same. Then let him say, Omnia in duos, duo in unum, unus in nihil. Haec nec quator, nec omnia, nec duo, nec unus, nec nihil sunt. Gloria Patri et Matri et Filio et Filiae et Spiritui Sancto. Externo et Spiritui Sancto. Interno ut erat in saecula, saeculorum sex in uno per nomen septum, in uno erarita. Let him then repeat the signs of LVX, but not the signs of NOX, for it is not he that shall arise in the sign of Isis rejoicing. Chapter 37. Dragons. Thought is the shadow of the eclipse of Luna. Samadhi is the shadow of the eclipse of soul. The moon and the earth are the non-ego and the ego. The sun is that. Both eclipses are darkness. Both are exceedingly rare. The universe itself is light. Chapter 38. Lambskin. Cowan skidoo, tile, swear to Hile all. This is the mystery, life. Mind is the traitor. Slay mine. Let the corpse of mine lie unburied on the edge of the great sea. Death. This is the mystery. Tile, Cowan skidoo. Chapter 39. The Luby. Only Lubies find excellence in these words. It is unthinkable that A is not A. To reverse this is but to revert to the normal. Yet by forcing the brain to accept propositions, of which one set is absurdity, the other truism, a new function of brain is established. Vague and mysterious and all indefinite are the contents of this new consciousness. Yet they are somehow vital. By use, they become luminous. Unreason becomes experience. This lifts the leaden-footed soul of the experience of that, of which reason is the blasphemy. But without the experience, these words are the lies of a Luby. Yet a Luby to thee, and a booby to me, a Balacius ruby to God may be. Chapter 40. The High Mog. A red rose absorbs all colors but red. Red is therefore the one color that is not. This law, reason, time, space, all limitation blinds us to the truth. All that we know of man, nature, God, is just that which they are not. It is that which they throw off as repugnant. The High Mog is only visible insofar as he is imperfect. Then are they all glorious who seem not to be glorious, as the High Mog is all glorious within? It may be so. How then distinguish the inglorious and perfect High Mog from the inglorious man of earth? Distinguish not, but thyself extinguish. High Mog thou art, and High Mog shall thou be. Chapter 41. Corned Beef Hash. In V is the great work perfect. Therefore, none is that pertaineth not to V. In any may he manifest, yet in one hath he chosen to manifest. And this one hath given his ring as a seal of authority to the work of the AA through the colleagues of Frater Per Durabo. But this concerns themselves and their administration. It concerneth none below the grade of exempt adept, and such an one only by command. Also, since below the abyss reason is lord, let men seek by experiment, and not by questionings. Chapter 42. Dust Devils. In the wind of the mind arises the turbulence called I. It breaks. Down shower the barren thoughts. All life is choked. This desert is the abyss, wherein is the universe. The stars are but thistles in that waste. Yet this desert is but one spot accursed in the world of bliss. Now and again travelers cross the desert. They come from the great sea, and to the great sea they go. As they go, they spill water. One day they will irrigate the desert till it flower. See, 5 footprints of a camel. V. Chapter 43. Mulberry Tops. Black blood upon the altar, and the rustle of angel wings above. black blood of the sweet fruit, the bruised, the violated bloom, that setteth the wheel a-spinning in the spire. Death is the veil of life, and life of death, for both are gods.
No, accept
This
my
is that
words,
which
I'm
is
not
written,
lying. You just
a
refuse
feast
to
for life,
accept my
and a greater feast for
pronouns.
death, in the book of the law. The blood is the life of the individual. Offer then blood. Chapter 44. The Mass of the Phoenix. The magician, his breast bare, stands before an altar, on which are his burin, bell, thurible, and 2 of the cakes of light. In the sign of the Enterer he reaches west across the altar, and cries, Hail, Ra, that goest in thy bark into the caverns of the dark. He gives the sign of silence, and takes the bell and fire in his hands. East of the altar see me stand with light and music in mine hand. He strikes 11 times upon the bell. 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, and places the fire in the thurible. I strike the bell, I light the flame, I utter the mysterious name, Abrahadabra. He strikes 11 times upon the bell. Now I begin to pray, thou child, holy thy name and undefiled. Thy reign is come, thy will is done. Here is the bread, here is the blood. Bring me through midnight to the sun. Save me from evil and from good. Take thy 1 crown of all the 10. Even now and here be mine. Amen. He puts the first cake in the fire of the thurible. I burn the incense cake, proclaim these adorations of thy name. He makes them as in Liber Legis, and strikes again 11 times upon the bell. With the burin he then makes upon his breast the proper sign. Behold this bleeding breast of mine, gashed with the sacramental sign. He puts the second cake to the wound. I staunch the blood, the wafer soaks it up, and the high priest invokes. He eats the second cake. This bread I eat, this oath I swear, as I inflame myself with prayer. There is no grace, there is no guilt. This is the law. Do what thou wilt. He strikes 11 times upon the bell, and cries, Abrahadabra. I entereth in with woe and mirth, and now go forth and with thanksgiving, to do my pleasure on the earth, among the legions of the living. He goeth forth. Chapter 45. Chinese Music. Explain this happening. It must have a natural cause. It must have a supernatural cause. Let these 2 asses be set to grind corn. May, might, must, should, probably, may be, we may safely assume, ought, it is hardly questionable, almost certainly. Poor hacks, and let them be turned out to grass. Proof is only possible in mathematics, and mathematics is only a matter of arbitrary conventions. And yet doubt is a good servant, but a bad master. A perfect mistress, but a nagging wife. White is the lash of the overseer. White is black, is the watchword of the slave. The master takes no heed. The Chinese cannot help thinking that the octave has 5 notes. The more necessary anything appears to my mind, the more certain it is that I only assert a limitation. I slept with faith, and found a corpse in my arms on waking. I drank and danced all night with doubt, and found her a virgin in the morning. Chapter 46. Buttons and Rosettes. The cause of sorrow is the desire of the one to the many, or of the many to the one. This also is the cause of joy. But the desire of one to another is all of sorrow, Its birth is hunger, and its death satiety. The desire of the moth for the star at least saves him satiety. Hunger thou, O man, for the infinite. Be insatiable even for the finite. Thus, at the end, shalt thou devour the finite, and become the infinite. Be thou more greedy than the shark, more full of yearning than the wind among the pines. The weary pilgrim struggles on, the satiated pilgrim stops. The road winds uphill. All law, all nature must be overcome. Do this by virtue of that in thyself, before which law and nature are but shadows. Chapter 47. Windmill Words. Asana gets rid of anatomy consciousness. Pranayama gets rid of physiology consciousness. Involuntary breaks. Yama and Niyama get rid of ethical consciousness. Voluntary breaks. Pratyahara gets rid of the objective. Dharana gets rid of the subjective. Dhyana gets rid of the ego. Samadhi gets rid of the soul impersonal. Asana destroys the static body, nama. Pranayama destroys the dynamic body, rupa. Yama destroys the emotions. Niyama destroys the passions, vedana. Dharana destroys the perceptions, sana. Dhyana destroys the tendencies, sankhara. Samadhi destroys the consciousness, vinanam. Homard a la Thermidor destroys the digestion. The last of these facts is the one of which I am most certain. Chapter 38. Mome Wraths. The early bird catches the worm, and the 12-year-old prostitute attracts the ambassador. Neglect not the dawn meditation. The first plover's eggs fetch the highest prices. The flower of virginity is esteemed by the pandar. Neglect not the dawn meditation. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. But late to watch and early to pray brings him across the abyss, they say. Neglect not the dawn meditation. Chapter 49. Warata Blossoms. 7 are the veils of the dancing girl in the harem of it. 7 are the names, and 7 are the lamps beside her bed. 7 eunuchs guard her with drawn swords. No man may come nigh unto her. In her wine cup are 7 streams of the blood of the 7 spirits of God. 7 are the heads of the beast, whereupon she rides. The head of an angel, the head of a saint, the head of a poet, the head of an adulterous woman, the head of a man of valor, the head of a satyr, and the head of a lion serpent. 7 letters hath her holiest name, and it is. Narrator's note. Crowley here illustrates a seal of a 7-pointed star. Beginning from the westmost point, each point of the star contains a letter, spelling the name of Babylon. In the center of the star is the Greek symbol for Theta. Crosses extend from its western, northern, and eastern boundaries. To the left of the westmost cross is the number 77. To the left of the northmost cross is the number 7. To the right of the northmost cross is the number 7. To the right of the eastmost cross is the number 77. By itself, at the southernmost boundary of Theta, is the number 7. This is the seal upon the ring that is on the forefinger of it, and it is the seal upon the tombs of them whom she hath slain. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of Our Lady, for it is the number of a woman, and her number is 156. Chapter 50. The Vigil of St. Hubert. In the forest, God met the stag beetle. Hold, Worship me, quoth God, for I am all great, all good, all wise. The stars are but sparks from the forges of my smiths. Yea, verily, and amen, said the stag beetle. All this do I believe, and that devoutly. Then why do you not worship me? Because I am real, and you are only imaginary. But the leaves of the forest rustled with the laughter of the wind. Said wind and wood, they neither of them know anything. End of chapter 0 through 50. The Book of Lies by Aleister Crowley, chapters 51 through 91. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 51. Terrier Work. Doubt. Doubt thyself. Doubt even if thou doubtest thyself. Doubt all. Doubt even if thou doubtest all. It seems sometimes as if beneath all conscious doubt there lay some deepest certainty. Oh, kill it. Slay the snake. The horn of the doubt goat be exalted. Dive deeper, ever deeper, into the abyss of mind, until thou unearth the fox that. On, hounds, yoinks, tally-ho, bring that to bay. Then wind the mort. Chapter 52. The Bull Baiting. 411 books wrote I. In each did I expound the great work fully, from the beginning even unto the end thereof. Then at last came certain men unto me, saying, O Master, expound thou the great work unto us, O Master. And I held my peace. O generation of gossipers, who shall deliver you from the wrath that is fallen upon you? O babblers, prattlers, talkers, loquacious ones, tattlers, chewers of the red rag that inflameth apiece the Redeemer to fury. Learn first what is work, and the great work is not so far beyond. Chapter 53. The Douser. Once round the meadow, brother, does the hazel twig dip. Twice round the meadow, brother, does the hazel twig dip. Thrice round the paddock, highly, lowly, wily, holy, dip, dip, dip. Then neighed the horse in the paddock, and lo, its wings. For whoso findeth the spring beneath the earth, maketh the treaders of earth to course the heavens. This spring is threefold, of water, but also of steel, and of seasons. Also this paddock is the toad that hath the jewel between his eyes. Aum mani padmen hum. Keep us from evil. Chapter 54. Eavesdroppings. 45 apprentice masons out of work. 15 fellow craftsmen out of work. 3 master masons out of work. All these sat on their haunches, waiting the report of the sojourner, for the word was lost. This is the report of the sojourners. The word was love, and its number is 111. Then said each Amo, for its number is 111. Each took the trowel from his lap, whose number is 111. Each called moreover on the goddess Nina, for her number is 111. Yet with all this went the work awry, for the word of the law is Thelema. Chapter 55. The Drooping Sunflower. The one thought vanished. All my mind was torn to rags. Nay, my head was mashed into wood pulp, and thereon the daily newspaper was printed. Thus wrote I, since my one love was torn from me. I cannot work, I cannot think, I seek distraction here, I seek distraction there. But this is all my truth, that I who love have lost, and how may I regain? I must have money to get to America. O mage, sage, gauge thy wage, or in the page of thine age is written rage. O my darling, we should not have spent 90 pounds in that 3 weeks in Paris. Slash the brakes on thine arms with a pole-axe. Chapter 56. Trouble with Twins. Holy, 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 unto 555 times holy be Our Lady of the Stars. Holy, 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 unto 156 times holy be Our Lady that rideth upon the beast. Holy, 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 unto the number of times necessary and appropriate be Our Lady Isis in her millions of names, all Mother, Genetrix, Meretrix. Yet holier than all these to me is Layla, night and death. For her do I blaspheme alike the finite and the infinite. So wrote not Frater Perdurabo, but the imp Crowley in his name. For forgery, let him suffer penal servitude for 7 years, or at least let him do pranayama all the way home. Home? Nay, but to the house of the harlot whom he loveth not. For it is Layla that he loveth, and yet who knoweth which is Crowley, and which is Frater Perdurabo? Chapter 57. The Duck-Billed Platypus. Dirt is matter in the wrong place. Thought is mind in the wrong place. Matter is mind, so thought is dirt. Thus argued he, the wise one, not mindful that all place is wrong. For not until the place is perfected by a T, saith he, placet. The rose uncrucified droppeth its petals. Without the rose, the cross is a dry stick. Worship then the rosy cross, and the mystery of 2 in 1. And worship him that swore by his holy T, that one should not be one, except in so far as it is 2. I am glad that Layla is afar. No doubt clouds love. Chapter 58. Haggai Howlings. Haggard am I, an hyena. I hunger and howl. Men think it laughter. Ha, ha, ha. There is nothing movable or immovable under the firmament of heaven on which I may write the symbols of the secret of my soul. Yea, though I were lowered by ropes into the utmost caverns and vaults of eternity, there is no word to express even the first whisper of the initiator in mine ear. Yea, I abhor birth, ululating lamentations of night. Agony, agony, the light within me breeds veils, the song within be dumbness. God, in what prism may any man analyze my light? Immortal are the adepts, and yet they die. They die of shame unspeakable. They die as the gods die, for sorrow. Wilt thou endure unto the end, O Frater Perdurabo, O lamp in the abyss? Thou hast the keystone of the royal arch, yet the apprentices, instead of making bricks, put the straws in their hair, and think they are Jesus Christ. O sublime tragedy and comedy of the great work. Chapter 59. The Tailless Monkey. There is no help but hotchpot in the skies, when Asticus sees crabs and lobsters rise. Man that has spine and hopes of heaven to be, lacks the amoeba's immortality. What protoplasm gains in mobile mirth is loss of the stability of earth. Matter and sense and mind have had their day, Nature presents the bill, and all must pay. If, as I am not, I were free to choose, how Buddhahood would battle with the booze. My certainty that destiny is good rests on its picking me for Buddhahood. Were I a drunkard, I should think I had good evidence that fate was bloody bad. Chapter 60. The Wound of Amfortas. The self-mastery of Percival became the self-masturbatory of the bourgeois. Virtus has become virtue. The qualities which have made a man, a race, a city, a caste, must be thrown off. Death is the penalty of failure. As it is written, in the hour of success sacrifice that which is dearest to thee, unto the infernal gods. The Englishman lives upon the excrement of his forefathers. All moral codes are worthless in themselves. Yet in every new code there is hope, provided always that the code is not changed because it is too hard, but because it is fulfilled. The dead dog floats with the stream. In Puritan France, the best women are harlots. In vicious England, the best women are virgins. If only the Archbishop of Canterbury were to go naked in the streets and beg his bread. The new Christ, like the old, is the friend of publicans and sinners, because his nature is ascetic. Oh, if every man did no matter what, provided that it is the one thing that he will not and cannot do. Chapter 61. The Fool's Knot. O fool, begetter of both lie and
She
not.
basically raised her children to kill our children. And she's there at this event celebrating the deaths of both of our dead children. It's sick. What kind of a society produces fruits like this? I'll tell you what kind of a society. A one that's been governed by Hamas for almost 2 decades. A one that's been radicalizing itself for generation after generation, whipping itself into a genocidal frenzy. And this is now all under threat because Hamas launched this war and they invited destruction into Gaza. There are entire cities that have been razed to rubble because of their war. And now the people are impoverished and Hamas risk losing it all. They risk losing power and they're desperately trying to cling to it. And they need to show a united front to show that all of the Palestinian people are behind them, which is why you see all the factions represented at this handover. Because Hamas needs to show that the entire Palestinian people, or at least those living in Gaza, are united in their barbarism. But this projection of power won't work. Hamas miscalculated. They can't convince the world that those 4 people on that stage deserve to die, or that it was Israel's fault, or that they are somehow the good guys. You're literally standing over the coffins of babies, holding guns, wearing masks, kafirs, and trying to present yourself as the good guys. The world sees you for what you are. Evil, cruel baby killers. And we will not forget. All you have done is reminded the Israeli public just how evil and inhumane you are. And we will not allow you to ever carry out any attack like that on our people again. This was the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. And this is one of the most visceral remarks.
Good evening. All right. Sorry the end got cut off, but, this is what I want to talk about tonight, you guys. I want to talk about the depravity of this entire society, really, and specifically that, I gotta switch my audio quality here, but specifically that this is not a fight against Hamas. This is clearly a fight against their entire society. You know, I've been, you know, bigger than just the Palestinians even. That this is a fight against, you know, all of the Arabs